This is a video response to Stephen Greer's latest "I will pay you to make a free energy device," a response type video. I was going to leave a comment, but there's just no point because it would be too long and there's too many important topics to cover. I've been following Stephen Greer for many years now, and he's a very fascinating guy. He's very intelligent, and he has a lot of confidence, so people tend to buy into what he says very easily. I enjoy his material. I think he has a lot of value, but I also think he's way off on certain topics. I think it was Project Camelot that once, many years ago, challenged him on the idea that aliens, I don't know if there's aliens or what, if we're misinterpreting what aliens are, but that's a whole nother topic. That I'll go into another time. But for example, Project Camelot was challenging him on the idea that all, quote, aliens are the good guys. He insists that they are. Project Camelot and others have said that's a very naive stance. I completely agree with that. But some of what Stephen has to say about it kind of makes sense too. But some of what he says is, if they had bad intentions, they would have done something by now. Well, isn't it possibly the case that they already have? The slave planet that we live on is maybe a living example of aliens or something, some other type of being that we don't understand that has taken over and produced this whole monetary system that we're enslaved by, and the poverty, the energy tied into the currency and all that, etc., etc. So anyways, back to this video. He's doing this crowdfunding thing. He wants to raise money for this movie that he's producing, just like the last movie he did. The very first thing that comes to mind is that it seems like that's what Stephen Greer does, is he does a lot of this fundraising type stuff. The first thing I want to know is, how much is he asking for? I haven't checked on the crowdfunding site to find out how much he's looking for, but there's plenty of documentary type freelance YouTuber folks who can do videos of the sort that he's talking about, projects of the sort that he's talking about that are based on research involving the lack of transparency and the non-disclosure of the UFO free energy stuff. They can do it very, very cheaply. I mean, how much is he asking? I could see reasonably anywhere from 5,000 to maybe 10, 20, 30,000 max, but I would be willing to bet he's probably asking way more than that, like I think he did for his first movie. And I want to know, what accounts for those expenses? Who needs that much money to accomplish so much of what needs to be done? I can see where some stuff is going to cost some money to do, but I would love to see an accounting done in that regard, which I'm sure would never be provided for a project like this. I'm sure there will be no accounting really done. It will just be asking for a certain amount of money and then going from there. Now, the idea that he's incorporating celebrities and musicians and stuff into an event to show this technology, I try to keep a level head about this stuff and balanced about it. So the first thing I need to do is I need to bring up the appropriate challenges to it. Whatever this technology is that will produce whatever this free energy output. Are there going to be independent third parties or people in large numbers who are engineers, technicians, who can look at this and verify somehow that this is a legitimate technology, that's not some sort of trick? I do believe that the technology exists, but how can we prove that that's what it is? And remember what he said in this video, it's going to be open source, so I guess that would do it. So maybe that would defeat that challenge, and that would be totally awesome. And if that is the idea, that's absolutely fantastic. But let's see, let me fix the screensaver here. What else did he talk about? One of the things that always frustrates me that he talks about is bringing up Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. It's always left wing. He's always mentioning this Democrat-Republican side. He's never mentioning Republicans and whatnot. It seems like he's always focusing on the left. Now, I'm not a registered voter. I don't vote. I realized when I was 18 that voting was a sham. Just to cover it really briefly, the Electoral College I recognized was a joke, as it's finally being covered now. There's books coming out discussing how it's such a sham and a scam. And besides that, my thought at the time was, even though I didn't fully understand it all, was that why did I want to vote for someone who's going to war? Our presidents always go to war, so they're always responsible for hurting and killing other people that I don't know. Can I sleep at night knowing I helped put in office someone who does that? No. So I chose not to participate in that voting process, and I never registered to vote. I studied a ton of law and a ton of politics, and the thing that people always repeat is, well, you have a duty, and then you can't create change. You don't know what you're talking about. So if you want to challenge me on that, you can bring it up in the comment field, and I'd be happy to debate it with you very briefly and discuss with you the hows and whys of registering to vote. It actually defeats what I feel is what America was supposed to be all about. That put aside, what else did he bring up in this video? I just want this to be the kind of thing where he's not simply trying to rake in the bucks, because that's the very first impression I get off the video, is that he's trying to raise money to fund whatever his hobbies are. I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it, I don't see where projects like this cost that much money. And when it comes to musicians and celebrities putting on any kind of free event, you can surely see any open-minded, especially these artistic types, would understand that they sure as hell shouldn't be paid for anything. This is something that's made to benefit the world. Now, there's a topic I could venture down. How is he not going to be assassinated in this attempt? I mean, the Federal Reserve notes are tied into oil. I mean, we don't have the gold standard anymore, so the way I like to look at it is that our currency, the Federal Reserve notes, are based on oil, which is also controlled by OPEC as far as supply and demand goes, and how much the currency is worth, and on about how that ties into the rest of the world currencies and the world economy. Now, it's a function of this puppet government, when he references Obama and Hillary, which is still such a joke to me, that part of what they can do constitutionally is to regulate commerce. So how should these politicians have anything whatsoever to do with this when they have to regulate commerce? They're involved in the regulation of commerce as part of what government is there to do. And commerce is dictated by the Federal Reserve notes that are tied into the oil supply, they're tied into the energy supply, and on and on. How's that going to work? It can't work. So please, Mr. Greer, stop referencing these damn politicians who have no power in this. They're nothing but puppets. You seem to recognize that there's a power elite that are in control of anything, so why would we even be discussing anything having to do with Obama and Hillary? They're puppets to it. They support this system. Stay the hell away from them. If this is an effort by the people, for the people, as you're claiming in this video, stop getting politicians involved. Just have it, and that's what I loved about how you opened the video. Make it the grassroots, the people thing that it needs to be to make this work. Don't beg for so much money. The amount that you need to do this project should be very, very small. Help disclose the lack of transparency. Get the right people involved to get an event together to demonstrate this to open source free energy. And then we'll be on to something. But because I've written to you 4 times in the past, you never respond. I've offered to give my life to the spread of this technology for free, to sleep in a tent, eating minimal food just to get this technology out there, and you never respond. I guess I can give your organization an out in that regard, because you probably can't trust too many people. But you still should have at least responded, because I made myself available to you. Make this what it really needs to be. Minimal funds, the right people involved, and get this damn technology out there if this is going to change. On another side note, just to bring this up really quickly, the climate issue, to be level-headed about it, I'm not sure that there is a climate issue. Am I against pollution and polluting of the earth? Absolutely, of course. But is there real evidence that what we're doing is causing the destruction of, with the ozone layer and the ice situation melting and all that? I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced of that, and I don't like it being used as a political, controversial maneuvering device. We know Al Gore makes money from all that garbage, so let's keep it to the real stuff. Let's keep the fund drive to a bare minimum, whatever it takes to just get this off, and do it now. It sounds good, but there's a lot of things I could pick apart and challenge. So that's my video. Thanks for watching. More videos to come.